Personality traits. Let's talk about it. We're going to be specifically talking about personality traits when it comes to talking about weekends. I forgot what it was there for a second. So here are our objectives. We're going to try and remember at least 5 words related to this topic. We're going to describe other people. We're going to use graphic organizers to help us see similarities and differences between us and other people. And hopefully we'll get to know our friends as well as our classmates. Let's guess some words. You have 30 seconds to guess what this first word is. Super simple. Look at the 2 pictures. What word comes to mind when you see that? You don't need 30 seconds for this one, but I'm giving it to you anyways as a freebie. Okay, if you said couch potato, you are correct. So remember, a couch potato is somebody who is pretty much at home all day watching hours and hours of TV. Are you a couch potato? All right, let's go to the next word. So can you guess what it is? I've got a little tip down there. It's typically confused as the synonym for shy, and synonym is the same or similar word as shy, but it in its true definition it is not the same thing. So what do you think it is? What can you guess from the clues? If you said the word introvert, you are correct. So a lot of people, and I really wanted to go and see this. So the definition of introvert is a person who prefers calm environments, limits social engagement, or embraces greater than average preference for solitude. So it's somebody who, I saw in another expression, it was somebody who just gets more energy from being maybe at home in quieter situations or in kind of less big group events. And that's where they get their energy from. It doesn't mean that they don't like social events or meeting people. It doesn't mean that they're like that completely, but they just get their energy and they function a little bit better in that particular setting. And the reason why I think it's good to understand that is because for a long time, I've just always thought, oh, people who are introverts, they are this type of people and they don't like this type of thing. But it's not true. It's really not true. They just tend to prefer, their preference for calm environments, solitude is higher and greater than it is for, like, you know, big events with many people and lots of crowds. All right, the next word. Can you guess what this word is? Okay, if you said the word well organized, you are correct. So here's a well, the old thing where you can get the water from. This is an organ plus ized. Well organized. Good. Let's go to the next one. What is this word? This should be really easy. Should be really, really easy peasy. Okay, if you said the word outdoors, you are correct. So an outdoorsy person, typically somebody who enjoys being outside. Are you an outdoors person? I know for me, I'm not really an outdoors person. I've just realized over the years that outdoors is not for me. It's really not for me. Okay, so we're going to be looking at these personality adjectives, words that describe people's personalities. These are some typical words. It's not everything, but these are the words that I want you to practice and use comfortably and regularly. So let's take a look at some more examples. How would you describe this person? When I show you this image, what words come to mind? For me, the little hints, I might say, oh, this person maybe enjoys being at home, reading, looks like they've got a book, looks like their phone is next to them, but their phone is not in their hand. So it doesn't seem like they're a couch potato. So how would you describe them? Maybe you might be able to say, you could guess, maybe they're an introvert and maybe they like being indoors. I don't know. Their background, we don't know the whole picture of their living room, but they could also be somebody who's well organized, maybe. All right, let's take a look at another picture. How would you describe this person? What comes to mind when you see this person? Again, looks like they are outside of the house, so maybe they're really outdoors. Maybe there's somebody who's always on the go rather than being a couch potato. What else? Can you tell if the person is an introvert, extrovert, just by looking at them? It's really hard to do that. All right, how about this one? What comes to mind when you see this picture? I would say definitely a couch potato. In many ways, I am a couch potato. And I think when I was younger, I used to be embarrassed of being like, oh, I don't really like going outside, or I don't really like doing stuff and moving. Like, weekends for me are a time for doing nothing. If I'm not doing anything, the other thing that I want to do is spend money on things that make me happy. So yeah, I would say definitely couch potato, maybe somebody who's very indoors. And then typically we would love to say that maybe this type of person loses things. That would be a stereotype, but we don't know. Are they an extrovert? Are they an introvert? Again, we wouldn't know. Okay, how would you describe this person? Or how would you describe when you see something like this, what comes to mind? If you say, well, organized, I would agree with you. I think that's the only word that comes to mind when I see this image. I think with this topic, what's really interesting about personality, words, or describing people is we really like to box people in, and we really like to, even when we describe ourselves or when we describe other people, we love to use these very concrete ideas and words. But I think human beings are so much more complicated than that. Sometimes I feel like it's unfair to put people in boxes. What do you think? Do you think these words accurately describe who you really are all the time and throughout your life? Or do they kind of show a little bit about you? Let me know. Let me know. Okay, let's take a look at a famous person. So we've got Zendaya here. How would you describe Zendaya? So this is where you're going to come in. I want you to write in the comments, how would you describe Zendaya? From what you've seen of her. If you don't know who she is, she's an actress, and she's her latest movie was June, and she's also coming up with another movie about tennis. Anyways, but she's an actress from America. You might have seen her in some movies, and so how would you describe her? What comes to mind when you think of her? Let's go back to these words. Do you think she's introvert or extrovert? A couch potato or always on the go? Indoors or outdoors? Well organized or loses things? All right, keep that in mind. I'm going to show you just a clip of her interview.
What's something your followers may not know about you?
I think they know this, but I'm a very shy, introverted person.
And what's been the coolest thing that you've learned from a fan?
My fans, they keep me on my toes. They keep me politically aware. They keep me socially aware. And they always correct my grammar and spelling. Okay, I get it. I know I can't spell. Okay.
I thought it was really interesting that although she's like this big celebrity, but the fact that she describes herself as shy and essentially introvert is really interesting, because I wouldn't see that from the way that she dresses. And obviously, because she's an actress and she meets loads and loads of people, I would assume that she's extrovert and outdoors. And so in some ways, I actually feel kind of sorry for her a little bit, because I'm like, if you're that type of person who prefers quiet and you get your energy from being in calmer places, the world of Hollywood must be really tough and really difficult, because you always have to do interviews, you always have to meet people, you always have to get dressed and go to places. So I thought that was really interesting. I didn't expect that of her. All right, here's another celebrity. How would you describe Dave? I think it's Bautista. And if you don't know him, he used to be a wrestler, and now he's an actor. He was in Guardians of the Galaxy and in some other movies. I think I know him mostly from Guardians of the Galaxy. How would you describe him to be? All right, I've got another video to show you.
I was so quiet. I was such an introvert. I was so shy when I was young. I was always bigger than the rest of the kids, but I was just always really, really shy, like extremely painfully shy.
Are you still a little shy?
Very much, yeah. I've definitely come, it's weird. I didn't come out of my shell until I started professional wrestling, and that kind of forced me out of my shell. But I still struggle with it somewhat. I have a bit of social anxiety. There's certain things I still struggle with. But even...
Really interesting. So from the way that he looks, I would assume and guess that he's this really extrovert person. He loves attention. But it's so interesting that he's not. He's the opposite of that. In fact, he says some really interesting things. He says, I'm extremely painfully shy. That means he's not just a little bit shy. He's really very, very, if this is normal amount of shy, he's like very, 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 very shy. So it's really, really interesting. And he uses another word. He says, I didn't come out of my shell. I didn't come out of my shell. When you come out of your shell, it means that you grow in confidence. You grow in how you are. To come out of your shell, it means to become less shy and more talkative and friendly. So if you describe yourself as, oh, I used to be really shy and now I'm starting to come out of my shell, it means that I'm starting to be more talkative, be more friendly, be more open to other people. So would you describe yourself as somebody who's coming out of their shell? So always think about it like a little clam opening up and coming out, or a little turtle, peeking its head. So I thought that was really interesting. I did not expect that of him. From the way he looks, I would not think that about him, which is really interesting because, again, I think and I do this, we love to put people in boxes and we love to label people, but getting to know people is about asking them questions and about listening to them, and you might find surprising facts. For example, when I was much younger, I think before university, I was extremely shy. I would say, like Bautista, I was painfully, extremely shy. I did not like to draw attention to myself. I hated taking pictures. You would not find me at the front of anything. I would be at the back. I'm at the back end of the classroom. You're not seeing me, you're not hearing me, I do not exist. I want to be a ghost. And then I came out of my shell. And I came out too much out of my shell. Sometimes I think, according to my husband, I need to go back into my shell a little bit so that I'm less, in your face. So that is about personality traits. I want you to always, I think it's an important thing that I've discovered preparing this material for you guys, is that we have to be really careful with how we describe ourselves and how we describe other people. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I shall see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye bye.